Greetings. As most of you will be aware, approximately 36 hours ago I released a video. In that video I identified a sequence of events within the community that had caused me grave concern and announced that I was seriously reconsidering my participation within the community. A lot has happened since the release of that video, and I'd like to discuss those events now. Most importantly, there was a significant amount of positive support and encouragement for me as a result. Many of you left some extremely supportive messages, and I deeply appreciate all of you who did. I'm deeply humbled and incredibly grateful that you took time out to do that. Some of you chose to leaven these comments with some extremely sound logical arguments. I have to say I think that perhaps the emotional support weighed more heavily in my considerations, but nonetheless, all of it was greatly appreciated. And as a result, I have decided that I will be continuing my participation in the community and continue producing content for it. In the process of these discussions, my subscriber count fell below 1,000 and then rose back above 1,000. In technical terms, it could be argued that I owe you 2 1,000 subscriber specials, but you're going to have to make do with one, I'm afraid, provided I can find any people who are still willing to appear on screen with me. But as soon as I do, and I can arrange a time and a date, I shall let you know when that will be. The other thing that occurred is that in response to my pleas that people refrain from producing attack videos and refrain from infantile bullying, Cheshire Vic and several of her friends, along with several of the Sit Down with Debunkers cast, came into my channel to engage in some infantile bullying before withdrawing to Cheshire Vic's channel to make an attack video. All of which nicely illustrates my point, but it also emphasizes the importance of us being mindful of how various people are behaving within the community. Bullying prospers in secrecy. The victims of bullying are often ashamed of being bullied and often don't want to alert someone in authority. They don't want to tell a teacher, they don't want to tell an adult, because they want to avoid making a fuss. And in fact, bullies rely on this. For you to come into a public forum and accuse somebody of being a bully is rude. So obviously you can't do that. You must do it somewhere more private, more discreet, where it is more easily hidden from the broader community, and the people involved can escape responsibility for their behaviour. I am not prepared to indulge this, so I am going to give a special shout out to Mr. Serious and Golden Unicorn, whose behaviour in my channel became so egregious that I was forced to ban them. Well done. They are the first in a hopefully short list of people whose comportment I think falls below the minimum standards required to participate in this channel. I have not previously had to impose any such requirements because my subscribers are generally well behaved, but this situation seems to have triggered some loss of restraint in people. Moving forward, I think that as community members and as content creators, we all need to be aware of the way the people around us are behaving, not just in our channels, not just on our streams, but more generally. If somebody goes onto another social media platform to persecute someone, they need to be held accountable for that. They cannot be allowed to do that and return to YouTube and be lauded as marvelous content creators. It isn't an acceptable form of behavior. My Inclination is that if I see unacceptable behaviour, I intend to confront the person responsible for it, and I intend to inform them that's unacceptable. And if they refuse to take ownership of what has happened, if they refuse to take responsibility for it, if they refuse to adjust their behaviour, then I hope that in this process I have informed everybody of the behaviour that they should be wary of from this individual, and then I don't interact with them anymore unless I need to step in to defend somebody else. I don't have to interact with people if I don't want to. I can leave them alone. I can isolate them. And that's how I generally respond. If people don't like me, they can go and do it somewhere else. And that's going to be my policy moving forward. It means, however, that I will not participate in streams with people whose behaviour I feel drops below a certain standard. And I will leave a stream if such a person joins it. So if in the future there are events of this sort, that's why it's happened. And I consider that to be the better option, because I am liable to become unrestrained myself if I am in close confinement with people whose actions I strongly disapprove of. People may have noticed that about me. The standards that I hope we will agree on as a community moving forward should be applied universally, not just to content creators, but also to community members, and I count myself amongst that. There will be times, I'm not perfect, where I have stepped over the line or where I will step over the line. When that occurs, I will apologise to the people I feel I need to apologise to. I hope. If I don't, I expect to be held to the same standard that I hold other people to. And if we all agree to be held to a reasonable standard of behaviour, I believe that the community that we have constructed can prosper. Everybody just needs to take responsibility for their own behaviour and be aware of what they're doing. We need to be adults. So let's get on with doing that and let's move forward. Thank you for listening.